Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to view this presentation regarding Apple, their strategic audit, and executive summary. When we see this image, we instantly think Apple computers, Apple watches, iPhones. It is a brand known worldwide. Apple, the iconic brand, is known for the iPhone. Sales of the latest model, the iPhone 11, will begin today, September 20th, 2019. In addition, Apple has what is known as the Apple Watch, which is now in its fourth version. The Apple Watch is one of their wearable technology items. Mac computers. Mac computers have been around for decades and are essentially the best computer built. They are less prone to viruses and less prone to malfunctioning than their PC counterparts. The iPad has been around for several generations and has been upgraded consistently. Apple TV is fairly new, kind of akin to Netflix and Hulu. This is a new and emerging market for the technology giant. Apple Music, formerly known as iTunes for those of us that are maybe a little bit older, and AirPods, the wireless earphones that we see now on much of the youth wandering around. Apple's corporate summary. Apple was founded in April of 1976. The technology giant is responsible for creating countless jobs in the United States due to the manufacturing of their products. Altogether, Apple is responsible for creating and supporting 2.4 million U.S. jobs across all 50 states. This is 4 times the number of American jobs attributable to the company 8 years ago. Job creation is due to the parts and supplies that are needed to manufacture their products. Apple has a very strong executive leadership team. The board of directors, chief executive officer, and senior leadership team are charged with the day-to-day operation that assures that the shareholders and long-term interests of the company are being served. Apple's board of directors is made up of a diverse group of people, from executives of other industries to leaders in the banking institutions, a leader of the largest amusement park in the United States, to a former vice president. The board of directors is comprised of individuals with various employment backgrounds. The executive leadership team is responsible for all facets of the Apple organization. Leading the charge is Tim Cook, Chief Executive Officer. Tim was named to the CEO position in August 2011. Prior to taking over the top spot, he served as the Chief Operating Officer. The company's current performance. Apple has been a leader in technology for decades, producing items such as computers, smartphones, high-tech watches, and wireless earphones. The company makes technological advances in many facets of the industry. The organization remains strong in the market despite emerging competition. Recently, Apple announced their fiscal 2019 third quarter results, which ended on June 29, 2019. The company posted a quarterly revenue of $53.8 billion. This was 1% increase from the third quarter 1 year ago. The company noted that this was the largest sales in June ever recorded. They attribute this increase in revenue to the strong sales of the iPad and Mac computers, as well as their wearable technology. Apple is widely known for their state-of-the-art smartphone, as well as many other electronic gadgets. The iPhone has seen many upgrades throughout the years to keep up with the customers' demands of having the latest technology. Although they have noticed decreasing sales due to their foreign competitors, Chinese Huawei. IDC Strategy Analytics have released their latest smartphone shipment numbers, and the clear winner the last few months has been China's Huawei, at the expense of the incumbent global leaders Samsung and Apple, both of which have lost ground. The Chinese manufacturer has been exchanging positions on the leaderboard with Apple for the last 2 years. However, Huawei has recently solidified their dominance over Apple in 2019. Overall, smartphone sales have seen a decline, and smartphone companies like AT&T and Verizon report less customers are upgrading their phones with contract renewals. The graph that you're viewing now shows the sales trends of many of the smartphone manufacturers for the first quarter of 2019. It is evident that Samsung remains the leader in sales by a significant margin, with Huawei firmly seated in second place. Apple shows a steady decline in worldwide smartphone sales overall. What you will see on the graph here is the market share volumes of the top 5 companies from the first quarter of 2019 to the first quarter of 2018, and what percentage of change there's been over just that one fiscal year. Samsung has seen a decrease of 8.1%, Apple a decrease of 30.2%, while Huawei has seen an increase of 50.3% in just 1 year's time. The recommended strategy. In order for Apple to remain competitive, they must make some changes. Apple needs to take the next step in areas such as wearable technology, artificial intelligence, and changing their mainstay, the iPhone. Apple needs to take the next step in artificial intelligence. While Siri was innovative in its time, it still does not hold a candle to assistance from Google and Amazon in voice-commanded smart technology. Apple is already behind in this market and has a fair distance to make up to match their competitors. When considering wearable technology, Apple still remains the leader in this market. However, Huawei is hot on Apple's tail. Huawei more than doubled their sales in the same quarter a year ago. Apple must be more innovative when it comes to the Apple Watch. One step they have taken is by launching a dedicated app store for their Apple Watch devices. The competitors have yet to come up with an answer for this, so they need to continue current trends for the Apple Watch. Last but not least, the smartphone. While the iPhone has been extremely popular for years, the device needs an update. The competition, namely Samsung and Huawei, are developing the first folding phones. Apple is currently trying to produce a similar device, but they are again behind the times when it comes to this new technology. In addition, manufacturing an iPhone that is more affordable to the masses could go a long way in keeping them ahead of their competitors. Currently, iPhone loyalists have a difficult time remaining current with iPhone technology, with new versions coming out almost annually. One that came out new today, the iPhone 11, with a $1,000 price tag. The typical user cannot keep up with the pace of all of the changes. Apple must consider producing new technology at a cheaper price. This will open up a whole new consumer demographic for the company. For this strategy implementation, how will we get there? Begin production of a less expensive iPhone immediately. The iPhone 11 is now on sale at the expensive rates that the previous versions of the iPhone 10 were just a year ago. And we are continuing to hemorrhage customers to the Android market. So this production and manufacturing should begin immediately. Continuing to improve upon features for wearable technology. While the Apple Watch is good, it could be improved. Again, the Apple Watch carries a hefty price tag along with it. AirPods are a great device, and they do entice younger consumers to purchase that technology. Artificial intelligence is a necessity. Apple needs to develop an assistant that has the same capabilities as Amazon's Alexa. And also, last but not least, improve the overall marketing campaign. Advertising is needed to attract new consumers to the Apple brand. We need to bring back some of the Android customers back to the Apple brand to make us, again, the number one manufacturer of smartphones. These are the references for this presentation. Thank you for watching. I look forward to your comments.